when I hired you to walk through Legacy Academy in 2 years, I have over 1 million times return.
Yeah.
The cost of that investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over 1 million times return. That's powerful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Chris, the business guru, of like, hey, let me tell you how to make $1 gajillion. It was, people know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, let me show you how to do it the right way. Let me show you the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah.
Let me show you the things you're not even thinking about. I'm going to point out all your weaknesses and your blind spots, and that shit sucks.
Yeah.
You and I have done some other stuff like, more interpersonal kind of development stuff, but like one thing that you've got the gift of is, oh, that's a weakness. Poke it.
Let's poke it. Yeah.
Let's poke it again. And then you're like, what are you going to do to guard against it? Because I can keep poking it. Yeah. And I think people don't want that. Like, I didn't want that, but that's what's necessary to protect against it as we, go on this journey of growth.
Well, absolutely, because it's not only necessary to protect it, but it's necessary for you to become the leader that will build the thing, for you to become the leader that will attract the team, right? Like the work that we did those 3 days, that created an intangible benefit that probably most people don't even think about. Like, you probably have a very easy time recruiting and hiring and retaining top talent because when you tell them the story of Barndo, of who we are at our core, of where we're going, the structure that we have, the systems we have in place, I bet you that there's not a person that sits across from you that doesn't enthusiastically want to be a part of the Barndo Co. Right? Because of that work. And that's an intangible benefit that people that I work with don't see. They don't see like, well, I'm having trouble hiring people and keeping people. Well, have you created anything that's worth being a part of? Is there a vision for them that they see a possibility in your business 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? If not, that's probably your problem. Like, you've got to be a leader worth following, creating a business that people want to be a part of. That's what we did those days. Like, that's literally the foundational work that people won't do. They're just like, no, I sold a bunch of stuff. I got to hire a bunch of people, and then I'm going to mix them into the chaos that I've created, and shit, they won't stay. Why won't they stay? And I'm attracting sucky people. Why is this happening, right? Like, that's I think, one of the biggest values of pausing for that 3 days, paying the money that it costs to invest, because the ROI is, like you said, millionfold. Like, you can't even put a number on it. So
no, you can't. Yeah. But and it's being big on the important things. And I remember part of that culture, when we were digging that out, you had just did a quarterly, and you guys went to the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, you said that kind of like in passing, like, yeah, or maybe it was like in between the days, you were like, man, my team's coming in, we're going to serve at the Ronald McDonald House. And I remember when you said that, I wrote that down in my remarkables, like, I want to build something that's capable of giving back bigger than what I can. And we did that. Yeah. And again, part of that is imitation.
Yeah, but, I've seen it. Yeah.
But, it struck something in me that day, like, that's what it's about. Like, not only are they so bought into working here because they're making money, and he's got a cool office with, like, meditation rooms and all this amazing stuff, like, but they're so bought in that they're showing up to go serve others, because there's so much abundance in the culture that they built here. That was powerful, man. Yeah. And I wrote it down. It became one of the core values. The end was to never stop giving, and that is who I am. Yeah. And I didn't even realize how much of that was me then, because I wasn't in this abundance mindset. I was in like fight to survive mode. And as I've grown as a human being, like that's something that I've unpacked as, for me, that's like one of the most transformational things that I can do is connect people to opportunities to go above and beyond what they ever thought possible.
Yeah.
And those things, like, again, if you're listening and you're thinking, like, where do I start? Find a guy or a girl that's in your market that's crushing it and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard. You just got to find someone who's slightly better. You can find someone who's way better, but you better be freaking ready, because they're going to expect you to just run at the same pace. It ain't like Chris, got down off the freaking racehorse and like walked alongside of me. No, it was like, get on your horse and ride. And like, and you got to be prepared to who you're talking to, but you got to find people who are where you want to be. And then how do build backwards? How do I get there and realize it's not overnight?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's tireless work. It's questioning your sanity sometimes work.
Yeah.
But again, it all started with why.
Yeah. No, I love the fact, like you said, to build something that you could give more generously than you could individually. Like that's huge. Like our main purpose is to impact and develop people. And my team gets the ability to be a part of that at a level, and same with your team, right? Like the intangible benefits, you can't pay someone enough money for, right? Like when you're there at the ball field and you're handing out that $6-figure check to the charity, like, and they're there, like they're part of that. Yep. Like that's not an opportunity you can put a dollar figure on that's going to keep somebody a part of your team, right? Like I know when you first started with us, you had a lot of people there that were like, they want like, show me the money, right? Because you guys were a lot about like, hey, we're going to scale this thing to $100 million and exit. And, we had to weed a lot of that stuff out early on. And now you have people that are truly bought into, like, at the core of who you and Ross are, the purpose of it. And it's amazing to watch. So
yeah, man, it's awesome. Yeah. So apart from all of that amazing, man, like if you guys wonder, like, hey, how'd Barndo get so good? That's a big piece of it. But what else you got going on? I mean, you travel around. The deck space is kind of like you're the kingpin of that area. Like like that's kind of your stomping ground. Like when you talk Barndos, like my name pops up. You talk in the outdoor living and deck space, like your name is there. Yeah. And like Nashville and all this stuff. Like you're kind of like, or not Nadra. Yeah. You're in all these different environments and traveling around, and you're in the coaching space. You're a business owner. And then you're speaking about different things. Like what's some crazy stuff you got going on there?
Well, crazy stuff. I mean, in about 20 days, I'll be at the Grand Canyon hiking 48 miles. So that's kind of crazy.
That's definitely an element of crazy.
Yeah. So doing rim to rim to rim. Man, I'm just constantly, I put myself in this place where I get leverage on myself. And what I mean is that, like, my team and the people in my world are pushing behind me, so like I got to stay ahead, right? And so I'm constantly just trying to continue to grow and develop and be the leader that they want to follow, right? Or that part of the team that they want to be a part of. And so we're doing that. We're also we really feel strongly about educating deck and outdoor living professionals on the business side of things, right? There's a lot of education out there about how to build better decks and be a better craftsman, carpenter. Most of these guys are amazing carpenters, but now they've turned their craft into a self-made prison, and they've got to figure out how to be a business owner. And so my goal really, and with the help of Nadra, is to bring as much education to the business side of things, like what we did with you, and see them have that kind of success, see them to be able to overcome the inability to build teams and to be profitable and things like that. And so that's ultimately like what our passion is right now, is just to be a beacon for that industry, to teach them that there is a possibility, that's greater than what they can see right now. But to go back to what you said, like it's not just the business and the money side of things, right? It's the faith, the family, the fitness, and the finances. Like it's all of those things. And so I just continue to lure people in with like, hey, let me help you figure out the financial piece. And I'm like, oh, by the way, you probably need to be a better dude or lady all around. So let's talk about like what's your routine look like? Like how are you fueling your body, and are you a leader worth following, and how's your relationships? And so again, the business operating system is huge. Obviously, like you guys are a testimony to like the value of that. But like you said, like you continue to level up in every area. Like I see how you show up as a husband and as a father. Like that's attractive to your team as well. And so for me, I'm just continuing to try to lead from the front and be an example in my space, and opportunities are opening up, and because we've done well on the foundational things, that frees us up to have the ability to give back and to do the travel and to be out there in front of things the way that we have been. So
yeah. Well, the Breen machine. I'm gonna tell another story because I can't help but not to. But we were in Reno together, at an event, and I remember you guys were like, "Hey, in the morning." It was
for a walk.
It was cold weather. I don't remember what month it was, but it was cold for a South Carolina boy in the Tahoe Mountains. I was like, nah. Yeah. And you guys were like, hey, look, at 5 a.m. or something, we're meeting at the shoreline of the lake. We're swimming out to this buoy, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And then they were like, I remember having a conversation. They're like, yeah, we were out there, and like, somebody caught a cramp, and they were worried about getting back in. I'm like, if that guy had, I would have died. There was no chance for TJ. Like, there'd have been like, we lost him out there on the lake. Yeah. And then you guys like got out of the water and hiked up a freaking mountain. Yeah. And it's just you just attack life. Yeah. You attack life. And look, I drove to the top and got to the same place you guys are going, and saw the same view. And I remember thinking like, hey, I seen the same view, but inside there's a piece that's like, it'd have been cool to go up it.
Yeah.
And so like it's fun to be around people like you, to where, you know, you got struggles and stuff too, but like you set the bar so freaking high in every aspect of your life that like it's fun to be like, God damn. Like even on a good day, you're like, this freaking Chris guy, you know? So I appreciate that about you, man. You've inspired me so much. Just even in the way, like, you know, we were talking about here, like, you know, you're in this place now, like, where you're getting to travel more, and your youngest son, like, you know, like just hanging at Disney and doing all the things, and like, it's fun. And that's what we do it for. And I think when people see that, that's why you have so much success. Like you're your own magnet to that, because you're like, this is what's possible. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Barndo Show podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this content, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And then be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms at the Barndo Co. Super simple to find us. And then when you're ready to dive in a little more, maybe look around some of our available floor plan options, or take a look at the gallery of our work, or maybe you're ready to connect with our team and explore what it looks like to build your dream barndominium, you can visit us online at thebarndoco.com.